Okay, welcome to Caleb's Basketball Pod. For this episode, I'm going to do a quick rundown of the last 5 teams I have gave an NBA preview for before the NBA season starts tomorrow. So this episode is going to be fun. I'm going to try to run through them quick. I do have as I keep mentioning, stick with me, Knicks fans. I'm going to do a small rundown of them. I am going to have a New York Knicks export, most definitely. On in the near future. It may be a week or two into the actual season, but that's fine because I'll be able to ask some questions about what he sees or what he thinks about how the season's gone in the first week or two. So hey, it's fine. Just like I said, stick with me, Knicks fans. We'll get there, and I've been promising this guest for a while, and that's because of their knowledge on the game. So again, just stick with me. I promise it will happen eventually. Scheduling just hasn't worked right as of late, but hey, it's fine. It'll happen. Okay, we're going to start off with the Dallas Mavericks. Very interesting here. We have Luka Doncic at the 1. We have Kyrie Irving at the 2. We have Klay Thompson at the 3. PJ Washington at the 4. ESPN has Daniel Gafford at the 5, but I don't know if it'll be Derek Lively. So it'll be interesting. But either way, you have Gafford or Lively, and the other one coming off the bench, obviously. We have Jaden Hardy, Spencer Dinwiddie, Najee Marshall, and Maxi Kleber. We also have Quentin Grimes. Nice pickup there. I like his scoring. I like Spencer Dinwiddie's scoring. I like their bench. The only thing I worry about the starting lineup with the Dallas Mavericks is you did lose Derek Jones Jr. He's a long, lanky defender. I just don't know if the defense will be there. I'm not sure that Klay Thompson can still guard threes at the high level. No, maybe a few years ago, 5-6 years ago for sure. I'm not really sure he can at this point in his career, but we'll find out. Do believe there's a lot of scoring on this team. I think they'll be top 5 for sure in the Western Conference. And I think you brought in Klay Thompson because you believe he could be the piece to put you over the edge and win the NBA championship. I don't necessarily feel at this point in his career Klay is that piece. I still think you need one more scoring star. And you may find him if teams disrupt in the middle of the season. So just be on the lookout for that, and I think Dallas is going to be trying to buy at the trade deadline and try and get that last piece when they find out that Klay's just not that last piece they've been searching for. But all in all, really good roster, and even if they keep this roster the same, still think they're top 5 in Western Conference. Let's move on to our next team. Let's go real quick. New York Knicks. Depth chart, like I said, small preview for them. And then I'll do the big preview some point later on and maybe talk about what's been going on in the season. Right now we have Jalen Brunson at the 1, Mikal Bridges at the 2, Josh Hart at the 3, OG Anunoby at the 4, Karl Anthony Towns at the 5. On the bench, we have Precious Achiuwa, Mitchell Robertson, Cameron Payne, and Miles McBride. Do you think that bench needs improvement? I don't think you really have. Miles McBride's going to be a nice scoring touch off the bench. Precious Achiuwa, we see on and off, up and down. Mitchell Robertson, I think he's better served as a starter. I don't necessarily think a starter for the Knicks. But I do think his defensive presence and his rebounding, he's better served as a starter. I believe starting Karl Anthony Towns will help your offense, but I think it's going to be a disadvantage to you on defense. Mikal Bridges struggled a lot in preseason. I think he was better off not being a focal point of offense, but just coming off of the ball and coming off of Chris Paul and Devin Booker in Phoenix. I still believe that was his best play-in. Despite him being the guy in Brooklyn, I just don't think it ever really materialized and it was anything big. And as you could see, Brooklyn was your winning team when he was the guy there. So all in all, it'll be interesting to see this Knicks team. I do think you lose some of the toughness you had if you'd have kept Julius Randle, but that's if Julius Randle is healthy. You got a lot of scoring, and Karl Anthony Towns looks like he's fitting in seamlessly in New York. So nice pickup. Let's move on to our next. We have the Toronto Raptors depth chart right here. Here we go. We have Emmanuel Quickley. We have Grady Dick at the 2. We have R.J. Barrett at the 3. Scotty Barnes at the 4. And Jakob Porto at the 5. We have Bruce Brown on the bench. Abachi off the bench. Kelly Olynyk, Davion Mitchell. Chris Brochure. Decent bench. All in all, I think they're too young and too inexperienced to really make a splash in the East. I don't think they'll be fighting for a play-in spot. Really don't think they'll be close. I think they'll probably finish like 11th or 12th in the Eastern Conference. It'd be nice to see a breakout year from R.J. Barrett. I don't think he's lived up to the potential that we all thought he had coming out of the draft. Emmanuel Quickley, we know he's a scorer. I'd like to see him get more other players involved. And Jakob Porto could very well be a trade piece at the deadline. Who knows? I mean, a lot of teams would look for a big like him. So it'll be interesting to see. And Bruce Brown, I think we all know he's most definitely a trading piece. And he could possibly get traded by the deadline, maybe way before. Who knows? I think there's a lot of teams that would love Bruce Brown's D3 and D on their team. He's won a championship. I think it'd be a nice pickup. Let's move on to the next team. We have Milwaukee Bucks right here. Milwaukee Bucks, they're an interesting team because they could be really, really good or they could really underperform. Last year they underperformed. I think they could underperform even more if they don't catch the right break. And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what Doc does when he has the full team for the full season and full off season and not just give him mid-year. So I think the jury's out on what Milwaukee's going to do. We have Dame Lillard at the 1, Gary Trent Jr. at the 2, Chris Middleton at the 3, Giannis at the 4, Brook Lopez at the 5. Key bench players, we have DeLon White, Taurean Prince. We have Pat Connaughton. We have Bobby Portis. Interesting bench. I don't think there's a lot on the bench besides Bobby Portis. I don't really think it's enough to really make much of a difference, their bench. Starting lineup is good. But starting lineup's also older players. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm saying you may need a little bit more youth and to be able to keep up with some of the younger teams in the East, like the Knicks, like the Celtics, like the Cavs, like the Magic. You may fall behind on them when they push for pace because you have an older veteran team that's not going to want to play all that fast. So I mean, it'll be interesting. I also want to see if Dame and Giannis can win together. We did see them in the playoffs. We didn't see Giannis at all in the playoffs, and Dame missed some games too. So it'll be interesting to see them together on the court, see if they can make something happen. Because I think they need to make some trades. I think they need to get another star, possibly use Chris Middleton as trade bait to try and collect another star. Be interesting to see how they do. Like I said, they could be really good or they could really, really underperform. I think their ceiling could be a 2 seed. I think their bottom could be fighting to not be a play-in team. I think they could possibly be a 6th or 7th seed if they can't keep up with some of the younger teams in the East. But it'll be interesting to see. Let's go to our last team here. That would be the Phoenix Suns. Right here. Let's see. We have Tyus Jones at the 1, Devin Booker at the 2, Bradley Beal at the 3, Kevin Durant at the 4, and Yusuf Nurkic at the 5. We have Royce O'Neal, Grayson Allen, Mason Plumlee, and Monty Morris coming off of bench. We have Damian Lee, Bobo too. Josh Okogie. Not a bad bench, pretty good bench. Now, here's my hot take for the Phoenix Suns. And you guys can let me know in the comments if you agree with me, and you may not, but it's just what I see. I think starting Bradley Beal at the 3 is too small of a lineup. I think Bradley Beal would be better served as your sixth man. People's going to say he's still good. Just a few years ago, he was an all-star, this and that. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's not. I'm just saying he's undermanned. You're going to have a really hard time guarding LeBron out west. You're going to have a really hard time guarding other bigger teams out west. Kawhi's not healthy, so at this moment, you don't have to worry about that. Dallas, they're playing smaller. You may have difficulty with teams like Minnesota because of Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert in the starting lineup. You may have difficulty guarding Michael Porter Jr. in Denver. Jalen Williams in Oklahoma. I mean, there's a lot of difficulties to starting three guards in your starting lineup. I think it'd be better served if you brought Grayson Allen in at the 3. He gave you a catch-and-shoot guy, along with your playmakers and your point guard, because now you finally have a point guard where you struggled last year without a point guard, a true point guard. And then Bradley Beal could just man it down coming off the bench, and there's no pressure. You come in and you can go 20-some a night off the bench because you would be playing a lot of your minutes without Booker or KD on the floor, and even mix and match and put one or two or both of them in at different points. It doesn't mean you don't finish the game. It just means you don't start the game. That's it. You could still play good enough to finish the game, and you may have some nights where you don't finish the game. But I still think it would be better served if Bradley Beal came off the bench. And there's my hot take for the Phoenix Suns. But Mike Budinger, I mean, he's trying to figure everything out. It'd be a hard conversation to have with Bradley Beal, so I get it. Now let's look at win totals, and I'll tell you over or under on what I think. So New York, we have 54.5. I'm going to go under. Still think they're a top 4 team in the East, but I think they're not going to click straight off the bat. It may take some time, and like I said, Bridges is struggling, but eventually they'll hit their stride. They'll still get 50 wins. I'm going to say 50, 51. I still think 54. Let's go Dallas. Dallas is at 49.5. Let's see. They have them under Oklahoma, Minnesota, Denver, Sac. Not sure if that would be under Sacramento. But I could see them 4th or 5th. I'm going to say... Let's say that's about right. I'd say 49, 48. I don't think 50. 49, 48. So we'll go with that. Milwaukee, we have them at 50.5. I'm going to say under. I think unless they make a trade, they're a little bit ways off of being a top 4 or 5 in the East. Possibly 5 or 6 seed right now, unless they make a trade, or if Giannis has one of those unstoppable seasons, then they could easily be a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. But going to say under. I'm going to say 47, 48 wins. 48 we'll go with. Phoenix, 48.5. Say under. I think there's a lot of things they still have to figure out. I'm going to say 45 wins. But yeah, I think there's still some things like I've been talking about Phoenix has to figure out. I think you have to figure out your starting lineup, see if it even works. Then let's see. Toronto down here at 20. No, we'll say 29.5. Seems about right. I'm going to say 30 wins. So we'll say over. Say 30, maybe 31 if they catch fire and win a couple extra. If RJ Barrett finally plays to what we all thought when he got drafted, maybe 35. But I'm going to go 30. Thank you for joining, and please join my Vegas episode. I guess we'll call them my Vegas episodes that will come out. They will be numbered because they will be part of a podcast, and I will give you my take on what team I take with the odds on the point total. And yeah, just stick with me, and I'll try to help you win some money there. So that'll be fun. So just stick with me, guys. With big things coming. Like I said, looking for more guests, looking for more videos like the Derrick Rose, despite the fact that maybe I need touch up around the edges. Be a little more vocal on videos like that when I'm talking about plays. Maybe once in a while I'll do some top plays muted and I'll talk over them and try to work my way up on that, and we'll see where it goes. But hey, stick with me. Watch my Vegas episode tomorrow, and see you for a normal episode on Wednesday, where I kind of recap what happened Tuesday night. That's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait. Happy NBA season starting.